Hey guys. Alright. It's been a couple days since I've done a video. Not real sure how to start this one out. With the exception that we could have some drastic changes coming. I don't know. We'll see. We're looking into some things, and I'm not gonna get into the discussion of it on here right now. But we're looking into some things. And we have our reasons. Yeah, there's gonna be a lot that's gonna have to go into that, so we'll just see. We're going to be aiming to make a trip in September. Or, yeah, something like that. And make some decisions. So, because of my mom and dad's house and property. So, I don't know. A lot of talking and thinking and everything else to do between now and then. No, it's not another thing like it's taking off and running down to Oklahoma. I mean, we were literally in a situation there where our lives were at stake. But that was literally a thing of I had to get us out of here to save our lives. That's the reason why we did what we did. Again, I'm not going to go into it right now. However, I do want to go into part 6, I do believe. I think it's part 6. Yes. Of how do you become fully self-sufficient? And once again, is it even possible? Yes, it is. It is absolutely possible. And I pulled this one up because it really goes along with, excuse me, my whole thing of, trying to pull it together as cheaply as possible, because of our situation. But we're looking into some things, I'm going to try to pick up some trades. And one of my big niches is painting, and I'm really going to dive into that. I do have to get some more materials. I still have my big canvases, which you can see back over there, and they're going to come in handy. They definitely are, because I'm really going to try to pull together some things, but again, that'll be another video. So, this one I pulled up. It is called How to Homestead for Free for the Rest of Your Life. I know I did the same thing. So, this is from a site called the Homesteading Hippie, homesteadinghippie.com. Here we go. How to homestead for free for the rest of your life. Most people I know don't homestead like our ancestors did. I mean, truly living off the land? Stupid ads. And just as importantly, living free. These days, it's easy to feel like you are just playing at homesteading, like it's a hobby. Loosening the soil around a lemon tree to allow better watering. Anybody can get a flock of chickens for their suburban home, or start a modest vegetable garden, all while being hooked up to the grid and dealing with the red tape of society. It's discouraging to think that homesteading for free for life is just a dream. But I'm here to tell you that isn't the case. If you've got the grit, the will, and the tenacity to see it through, it is entirely possible to homestead in the old ways and do it without much money, if any, or as free as possible in the modern era. Sounds crazy. It isn't. Keep reading. Keep listening. And I'll tell you everything you need to know. Can you really live truly free? Yes, with only a few caveats. Homesteading, real homesteading, is about self-reliance. What is the series? It's the reason I chose this. How do you become fully self-sufficient? The trick with modern society is that it forces you to be reliant upon it at gunpoint. That's why there's so many fees, taxes, and other financial obligations that keep you looped into the system. And that's not even getting to day-to-day survival necessities like food, water, shelter, sanitation, and more. 99% of people pay to provide for all of them. But that doesn't mean you have to, necessarily. Not everywhere. It is entirely possible to grow, gather, or hunt for your food, supply your own water, build your own home or other shelter, or even provide for electricity doing it all yourself, as long as you have the materials, know-how, and an adequate supply of elbow grease. You can craft, trade, or work for what you need and opt out of the usual rat race activities that keep most of us dependent on the system and prevent us from living the life of our dreams. This is what we've been discussing. And I'm going to lean heavily into my painting, which is going to be a trick right now because I have the paints that I have are the little tiny tubes. I really I'm going to have to wrap it up. Like, get the bigger ones. Sorry. And start working on bigger canvases. Every skill that you bring to the table, farming, gardening, framing, roofing, blacksmithing, upcycling, water purification, food preservation, animal husbandry, anything is going to save you a fortune one way or the other. Is it a lot more work? Ultimately, yes. But real freedom entails a lot of sweat and toil. Assess your skills now. Are you experienced and highly capable? A well-rounded generalist? Or are you woefully lacking in the do-it-yourself and self-sufficiency department? You know what? I haven't done a whole lot of do-it-yourself things yet. I've been struggling with a lot of things. And I know that's kind of an excuse. I'm not trying to lean on it for that. But I have done some things. And I know I can do a lot more. And that's my aim. If you are the latter, start learning and growing now if you want to stand a chance of breaking free. And that's what we're doing. You can live on low or no cost land. Let's tackle the biggest hurdle for some folks head on, getting the land. After all, land is the prime element in real estate. And like all real estate, it is very expensive. And of course, the government isn't just giving away land anymore like way back in the day, is it? Don't be so hasty on that last part. Surprisingly, there are many places around the US that will do exactly that, give you land. There's usually an application process and other stipulations like improvements or a timetable commitment for building your domicile, but in most cases it's surprisingly straightforward. Little out of the way villages, surprisingly quaint small towns from Kansas to Iowa, Nebraska to Minnesota, and beyond will give you land in exchange for precious few commitments. It's the real deal. Searching out these places online might just be the first step to homesteading free for the rest of your life. If the location is a problem, you might look into land conservatorship or stewardship, an arrangement where you can live free in exchange for watching over and taking care of the land. Ultimately, if you're willing to if you're willing to research, I've said that many times, do a little legwork and make the right commitments. It's possible to get a patch you can call your own essentially for free. But caveat emptor, always verify zoning laws and be prepared for financial or performance obligations if you sign on the dotted line. Building contracts, hang on, I gotta answer a text here. Building your dwelling for free. Now on to the next major hurdle. One that's seemingly so costly has led some sour homesteaders to declare the entire concept impossible. Everybody knows that building or buying a home is expensive, especially these days. That's true. But if you are only going to settle for a modern stick-built dwelling, then your priorities for homesteading might be a bit out of whack. Consider ancient building techniques like cob, straw bale, and earth bag structures, all of which use freely sourced local materials like clay, straw, or sand. Get your hands on free lumber from pallets or reclaimed barn wood by asking around in your local or through sites like Craigslist and elsewhere on social media. Don't forget to check local salvage yards for hardware. Barter labor with neighbors skilled in trades to learn techniques or get help. And Amy texted me again. Most importantly, start small. A small cabin or tiny home will minimize material needs and labor, whatever they are. Again, check all local and state building codes. Even some rural areas restrict unconventional structures. One last thing, no matter what else you're facing, prioritize insulation for your climate. Water collection rights and more. Water collection rights and more. Every homesteader and every prepper knows that water is the most precious survival resource, and not just for ourselves, because you cannot survive past 3 to 5 days without it. You will die. Your body absolutely needs that water. You will die much faster without water than you will without food. Our animals and our crops also need plenty of it, and no matter how you get it, supplying water tends to be very expensive. Does that mean we can get it for free or nearly so? Not at all. You'll be happy to hear that this one is one element of homesteading that people have mastered for centuries. There are lots of ways to obtain and store your own water, including rainwater harvesting with barrels or cisterns, which can collect hundreds of gallons from your roof. Digging shallow wells or tapping springs, if available, is another time-tested option. Water table data for your area should be readily available. You'll still want to research state water laws, as hard as it is to believe, some restrict collection of rain or groundwater. Right? What the heck? My phone's being stupid. I think I gotta restart it. Alright. Water table data for your area should be readily and freely available. You'll still want to research state water laws, as hard as it is to believe, some restrict collection of rain or groundwater. Alright, grow, gather, or hunt your food. Homesteading or not, and yours will still need food. So how are you going to get it without breaking the bank at the grocery store? the same way people always have, by growing it, gathering it, or hunting for it, and then trading for the things you cannot procure for yourself. Plant calorie-dense crops like potatoes or beans using heirloom seeds you can save yearly for future plantings. Forage for wild edibles like berries or nuts, foods that are highly nutritious and can still be found growing in great abundance in some places. Hunting for small and large game or fishing is always a good bet if you have the skills, but in most cases, you'll need to obtain licenses and learn all the relevant state and federal regulations. Don't neglect trading. Bartering surplus crops and other comestibles, or even your skills at farmers markets or homesteading groups can help you pad your pantry with what you lack or would just like to have. As always, at-home food preservation is a homesteader's best friend. Preserve all food possible through canning, drying, or other means to prevent waste. Now is the perfect opportunity to consider digging and outfitting a root cellar for keeping your food fresher, longer, and with no electricity. Become your own power provider. Speaking of electricity, I have no doubt that some of you listening or watching this think that homesteading in this way means retrogressing and adopting completely archaic ways and means. Once again, it doesn't have to, and I am happy to disabuse you of that notion. In case you haven't been keeping up with current technology and skill sets, you'll be thrilled to know that there are more ways than ever to generate sustainable and reliable electricity when living completely off-grid. Solar and wind are the big winners here. If you don't already have the tech, you can hopefully rustle up, trade for, or buy secondhand solar panels, or make do-it-yourself wind turbines from small motors for power. Even something like a human-powered bike generator can work for minimalist on-demand requirements. In any case, carefully assess your energy requirements. Chances are very good you won't be running as many lights or as many devices and appliances as you would be living back in the world. Once again, red tape may rear its ugly, pimply head. Double check local regulations, as many places restrict off-grid systems. Free doesn't mean alone. Last but not least, I want you to start thinking about homesteading for free as an exercise in community and not a man on Mars scenario. I don't know that's the default for most people owing to its somewhat romantic notion, but I don't know why. Most folks throughout history, and certainly in the United States, have not lived in such a way as to be completely isolated from other people. Your neighbors might be a good bit down the road, but they are still your neighbors. There is still a greater community somewhere that you'll be part of. You should be grateful for and take advantage of this. Showing people that you are willing to help and reliable will see them do the same for you. Skills and supplies you don't have can be readily provided by others as long as you return the favor. I urge you to join in local co-ops, community networks, and even the relevant online forums for your neck of the woods. Attend community holidays, gatherings, and get-togethers to build trust and start developing the social networks that will provide very real benefits. I think that's it. That is it. So that was how to homestead for free for the rest of your life. And that is part 6 of our how do you become fully self-sufficient. So, right, I am going to probably just get off from here so I can start uploading this because I'm probably going to do another one. I might do one for my phone. We'll see. Again, we have lots of things going on, so you guys could end up seeing some very interesting things going on over this year, so. But still gonna do our gardens. Things may be changing again, but we'll see. Because certain things are just proving out to be a little bit more than what we thought. So I am gonna get off from here and I'm gonna upload this, and I will get into that more and more videos to come. And you guys make sure you're doing your preps, do your chores, do your research. Have fun with your family. It's really important. Keep those family relationships up and do some more research because it's really, really, really important. And get those notes, get things written down, printed out, get those homesteading books. You need those. So I'm going to get off from here and I will see you guys in the next video. Keep an eye on your subscription. Welcome new subscribers. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. And like and share the videos. Please share them with everybody you know on all your platforms. Just get this information out there and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.